against the #1 seed, whoever it may be from Group 3.
Yeah, and here's, I believe, the next matchup in the other group that's going on right now between Rutgers and St. Edwards. Rutgers with the loss in their last series means that they somehow need to find a win versus St. Edwards. And we're now going to look at replay package here on Embassy Hardpoint. We don't know how this one went. We have no idea whatsoever. So we're going to grab our popcorn, sit back and relax.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rutgers did play the Cougars of SIUE very close on, and this was also their map #1 in that opening series for them. So you feel like that it would have to be warmed up for them, but, I mean, St. Edwards, it's not like they were just sitting around, just twiddling their thumbs, just kind of jonesing and trolling inside of the Twitch chat for CCL. Surely not, and Eon's, well as Thresh, looked like that they were not doing that. 22-7, 5-3 here for Thresh. Eon's was 23-12. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Thresh was able to get all the way up to an 8-3, calls in a cruise missile. It was a double cruise missile, keep in mind you, but that scoreline looks pretty, pretty dastardly. Somehow Rutgers are able to get over 100 points, though. I mean, typical to them, but surely it's a closing moment for St. Edwards, right?
Is that typical?
This is a tough, dude. This isn't like, I'm sorry, I got a lot of love for Rutgers. I've been casting these guys in this college in particular ever since my tenure began at CCL. Right. But this is a mismatch just by namesake alone. Eons and Thresh, I mean, those guys are competitors.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that much. It's just like, it's kind of funny because we were having the conversation earlier on about how Embassy Hardpoint is like one of the closest Hardpoint maps we've had in a few years now. Like, you expect all games to go to like 250, 230 at least, something around that scoreline. And then you've got that game where it's like St. Edwards are like, yeah, no, this is a map where we're just going to decimate, and that's exactly what they did. So great start coming out from St. Edwards. Not such a hot start in the search and destroy, though, as Rutgers in a pretty good spot. They've got Chatter on 6 in a row. He's got the cruise missile, 4-1 up overall, and make that 7 in a row as Chatter, looking for #8, finally goes down.
3 versus 2, Hybrid still got the bomb in hand. Rush is just playing the angle inside of tools. That is, what did he see? Like the knee pad of Thresh? He gets tagged with the nade, but should still plant this bomb. His teammate is watching him from afar, and his name is JM. He's got the sniper to boot.
How has this happened? How about that for a flip of the script? Reality now finds himself stuck with no quarter whatsoever, and you've just spotted out the glint of Jayhem's sniper rifle as well. Now you're going to have to take this one close quarters to try and force Jayhem out, and you're not even going to win the first one against Hybrid. That is an incredible, what was it, 2 versus 3, I think it was, from Hybrid and Jayhem in this situation. Insane.
And if there's one mode, especially for St. Edwards, that they have truly struggled with all year long, it doesn't matter the college that they go up against, it's just their search and destroy. It just looks so lacking. I mean, you and I got to cast them earlier on, where we got to see them really manhandle slam a lot of different individuals throughout in their entire tenure, specifically on this map. They have all the pieces. It just feels like there is a certain amount of disjointment as far as their executes are concerned. It's a good look here for Rutgers as Jayhem is up to 7-2.
Yeah, it feels like a big win for Rutgers here in search and destroy if they can close things out. This is a very oppressive defensive round as well. St. Edwards have none of the map in control, to be honest. I guess the good positive you have is that nobody from Rutgers has decided to get aggressive and get control of top bar. That would not end well. For the moment, you just sit here and wait for somebody to make that first move.
You could hear a pin drop on Elisila right now. Finally, some space starting to be taken. Trophy System's going to eat a couple stuns. This hit is coming into A.
Initial stun is going to make Hybrid weak. Chatter goes down by Keg, so Hybrid now needs to get aggressive, and they're just not going to expect this whatsoever, because why would you? It's such an aggressive play coming out from Hybrid, and it is enough to remove that advantage. And now the advantage, I think, firmly in your favor, because there's 25 seconds left on the clock for St. Edward to do something. Their only real choice is A, because they've got no control over B, and you haven't dealt with Hybrid inside the site. Certainly not when he's playing around like that. Gotta go find him. 13 seconds now to try and win out this search and destroy. Thresh from up top. He spots out Hybrid, but somehow wins the gunfight. Okay, now trying to plant the bomb. You just about have time in this situation. Is the coverage good from reality is the question. No, it's not. It doesn't matter. You're going to plant the bomb down. The trades are there from Rutgers. And how about that? Hybrid wins that final round.
Yeah, going to be able to close things out. Is Jayhem up to 8-2, 9-5 for Chatter. You might have been able to get the bomb planted. Doesn't mean you're going to get in a winning position. Really came down to reality, just being able to find that first kill while his comrade was planting the bomb. But 6-1. I mean, goodness me, St. Edwards. What's going on over here? 2-6 for reality, 3-7 for vanity. All right, I understand a little bit more now. But Rutgers were just, especially in that one round that we got to see through and through. It's just the cohesion, the teamwork, the trust in between all these individuals that are at an all-time high. Let's not forget, I mean, this is a must-win for Rutgers. I mean, this very much so could be your last series altogether when it comes down to playoffs. I mean, Newberry, we just saw they got eliminated. To say that this might not be the one that beckons for Rutgers, but winning that search and destroy decisively at that could add a nice little pep in their step as they set themselves up for an Expo control on map number 3.
I mean, you certainly need something, right? Because obviously they got, 3-0'd by SIUE. You need to get something in your favor just to find, like, some kind of momentum, some kind of, like, look, as we can do this, you know, we can still qualify for LAN, but we just need to get kind of some momentum in our favor, and they've finally done that with a search and destroy. And I think more to the point as well, it's a key search and destroy victory because it was so dominant. Obviously, we didn't see the vast majority of that, and we're seeing that now via the replay package, but still, for Rutgers to win that one, I think was his final score of 6-1, is a pretty big statement from them to say, look, we are not out of the conversation just yet, and we are very much still a threat to be concerned about.
Absolutely. I mean, Rutgers, again, there are some notable names that have been just tearing through CCL for a few years now. You always feel like that Rutgers are on the cusp when it comes down towards the playoff season. They always have to go up against these top dogs. It's big for them to be able to show up, not only for the Scarlet Knights and all of their fans, but also for themselves to prove that they can take down St. Edwards. Look, they may be very good. They are not gods. They do, in fact, bleed. And taking that map number 2 is going to be a good look for them. Again, this could very much so, Brody, be another Nestle situation where Rutgers would have to win a 2-3-5 versus St. Edwards. I think the respawns might be a little bit of a mismatch. But, hell, that search and destroy definitely offered a lot for me, although we only got to see a handful of rounds and some highlights. J-Ham was having his way. Majority with the sniper, 8-2. 9-5 for Chatter with that SMG in hand. Again, the teamwork for Rutgers at an all-time high.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about kind of, as you say, J-Ham at 8-2. We've already seen him a little bit earlier on today. He is probably one of the players to watch, I think, for this roster, especially just kind of what he is capable of. To see him at 8-2 is not much of a surprise, but just kind of talk big picture here momentarily, mate, because we talk about that 6-1 victory being big to garner some momentum in the series. I think it's pretty big also to stop the momentum of the opposition on the other side, right? Because we saw how that first hardpoint went. It wasn't kind whatsoever. That series could absolutely snowball, and they've stopped that from happening. So we have a series on our hands here. We're going to keep that series rolling in just a moment. Before we do that, before we talk about that control, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send to a very brief break. On the other side, we've got the remaining series. Don't go far. What's up, people? It's time for more CCL here between Rutgers and St. Edwards. As we just discussed before we break, Andy, mate, Rutgers, they put a stop to the bleeding that St. Edwards are bringing to the table after that hard point. But now it's time for our third Expo controller. I love the way, I don't know what it is about just North America. Maybe it's like an NA thing. People just really love Expo over there.
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know what Brody is talking about, when Expo came in, it took us like the entire Elite season until we saw EU actually play an Expo control. I think we only got like one. So, yeah, Brody does love his time spent casting NA. It seems St. Edwards are also enjoying their time or Rutgers are, excuse me, their time here on Expo. Just one segment away from completing the offensive gauntlet, but easier said than done as St. Edwards got themselves in a little bit of a blunder. 1 minute left on the board, 2 life lead.
Yeah, as we said, so far today, it's been looking like at least offenses have been the wave here on Expo Control, and it feels like that might well be the case once again. Rutgers looking to get control, but so far not so good. We will say that much. St. Edwards are doing a good job at the moment of keeping these guys at bay, but now it might have fallen apart. It is just fresh. The last one left alive. Hybrid gonna throw that nade out from afar. Ruger is going to finish that kill off, and now it feels like that should be it. The double stack should come through, and I don't think anybody from St. Edwards is going to touch. Yeah, actually, Reality will do so, but it is just Reality, and yeah, there's not much you can do.
No, not much you could do there at all, so big offensive round win coming through from Rutgers. Note that, of course, it came down to the segments progression. It felt like that they had a lot of time when we popped into that. I mean, 5 segments were already falling by the wayside, and still about 1:20 left on the clock. We were down to somewhere near about like a 15 versus 12 type of stat line for lives remaining. Felt like a good opening break that came through for the Scarlet Knights out of Rutgers. We'll have to see if St. Edwards can answer back the round of their own. And control is the toss-up when it comes down to these two teams. We know that St. Edwards are going to be very strong as far as the respawn is concerned. Fell short in that search and destroy.
St. Edwards, they want a fast and furious things here on the offense towards B. That hasn't exactly worked out in a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Rutgers. Now, that 3-for-1 is Jayhem's going to pick up his 4th in a row, and that should fully clear this B point. Now for St. Edwards, face that choice. Do you want to keep on hitting B, or do you want to try and take alleviated pressure over towards A? It is going to be the latter of those two things, as Thresh is going to double up towards the middle of the map.
Are you good trying to at least find a couple of trades, unable to do so. A zone is being tacked over very slowly, keep in mind you, and Thresh is actually going to step off of it to see if maybe he can find an off angle onto Jayhem. So that first segment has not been tacked over. St. Edwards more or less allowing Rutgers to maybe try to work their way back in. Hybrid down low is at least able to find one more player, and still St. Edwards can barely stay on the A zone.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're comfortable enough to do anything strong just yet. And I imagine part of that is just trying to establish some kind of presence for a potential spawn trap. And on both sides of the control zone, things are going extremely well. No, reality, the first few shots do not connect. Jayhem more than happy to take that one. And you haven't cleared house if you're St. Edwards, because Hybrid's able to get in behind and cause some problems as well. Now it feels like A might fall by the wayside. Vanity and Eons watching the crossfire at the moment, but Vanity's going to fall. Now Eons needs to trade that one out. He will do so. Chatter, the only player close by to do anything about this. Eons was weak, so he needed to escape, and he's not able to do so. They almost lost control of A, but Rutgers do not in the end.
Second segment was captured. First being worked on over here at B. Not a whole lot of space being taken away all the way backstage, and Thresh probably being a little confused as to why he's not being challenged out, but this is a great call coming through from St. Edwards. They're actually using Thresh as a bait to go finalize the A control zone, and they're going to get that 60 seconds. Thresh finally gets cut down over by the B zone, but now you have a minute 27 to get to work here at B.
Yeah, and as we always say, B is the easier point to take of the two, right? It's just like as soon as you're on it, it's very hard to get the offensive side off it. They're able to know that as well. Vanity, that's really unfortunate in that particular 1v1 versus Chatter, because he looks away at the wrong time, and Chatter more than happy to take that one. He's still alive, by the way, around that backline. Hybrid, a more pressing matter for St. Edwards to deal with as he's getting aggressive towards this bottom B side. Nades and stuns galore going out towards a spawn trap now being enacted by Rutgers. It's going from bad to worse as well, as Jayhem and Ryuga winning all of their gunfights. It's now an 8 versus 10 for St. Edwards to break.
Look at all the space that Rutgers are trying to deny from St. Edwards. You got players that are pushed up around all of the globe area, just expecting them to maybe try to push through this main lobby. It's not going to be the case at all. St. Edwards actually trying to take back over towards the southeast side of the map, trying to put themselves in a position to retake this lounge-esque area. And this is wasting so much time. Trades are going to be good for Rutgers.
St. Edwards relying on a flank. I think Ryuga's just heard the player, though. They've heard Vanity just chilling in the corner. Yep, Vanity's like, I thought I could get something going all sneaky-like, but they will be denied. And we said that B was the easier point to take, but Rutgers have made this a masterclass in defending it. Now Eon's down for the rest of the round. Reality, I don't think he has much of a choice but to just go straight for this offense. And Ryuga, yeah, I think that's one of those moments where bullets into the body are pretty much warranted. Vanity, the last one left alive, and they will be taken down. Jeez Louise, it felt like a foregone conclusion that St. Edwards would be able to grab control of B, just were not able to get it done.
No, and again, that comes through some very decisive calls coming through from Rutgers just to maintain the positioning that they already held inside of the globe steps, around the reception area, just making sure that those players are going to start coming off the one-dimensional play off the spawn, that they were going to get cut down, but because they were spending so much time trying to go back through the lobby, come out from the lounge for St. Edwards, get on behind backstage, and allowed Rutgers to set themselves up for a very nice pinch while the players were holding on in towards the spawn area. Ryuga, 11 and 13, will come into this round on a 4 spree. Combined 7 there from Shatters on 3.
And both those sprees still alive as well, despite the fact that they've lost their teammates. Effectively, in this 2 versus 4, you want to try and keep yourselves alive. Chatter is going to jump himself on towards this A point. I feel like he's probably dead. Yeah, reality, all he needs to do is just peek the right corner and, yeah, dead to rights. Ryuga's still alive, though. Now finds himself on 5 in a row. Looking for number 6 around the front. Thresh will double up for the denial. Now that's both potential streaks out of the play. Rutgers, though, here for the moment, can just go straight towards B, right? That's the play at this point in time. You can just fly yourselves over towards B. You know that that's the easier point to take, but it is going to be a blue kill feed here momentarily, and now you feel a little less confident.
Just a little less confident. Jam needs to stay alive down here. Spam shotting around every single quarter, expecting the shot to come through, and well, it'll finally pay off. Gets shouted out by Eons, but his teammates have all fallen down around him. A 3-for-1 trade favoring that of the Hilltoppers down to 35 seconds.
St. Edwards. I'm not going to move forward. Fantasy in for the first. Ryuga doesn't have much of a choice but to just chow that gunfight, and there isn't an immediate trade, so that's good news for Rutgers here. There's not much good news beyond that, to be honest. You've got no map control whatsoever. St. Edwards now and find themselves at least in a 2 versus 3 around this point. Eons will double up. There's Ryuga. It's actually Hybrid that goes down to reality. Regardless, the result is the same. It's the re-kills to St. Edwards. Rutgers sent back towards the respawn point. Reality now finds himself on 5 in a row, and Eons, just to truly put the hurt down in these final few moments, just looking to get some of these kills coming off the spawn. I tell you what, mate, look, St. Edwards, they might well be 2-1 down, but that's a really dominant showing from them in round number 3.
Yeah, no, that was a must-needed showing. I will say that much coming through from St. Edwards. Again, the favorite out of these two teams, not trying to sleep on the Scarlet Knights whatsoever, but just the powerhouse that has been St. Edwards. Again, trying to make it a two-peat as far as appearance is concerned there for the CCL Finals LAN at the end of the year. Rutgers looking to play upset, especially when it comes down to this very important matchup. And honestly speaking, I mean, Rutgers are playing with a team, or like a team, excuse me, with their backs fully against the wall. Again, losing the way that they did to SIUE, they have to win this series to remain in contention.
Streak Thresh off the back of those plays. Reality also in 6 in a row, so that means there's 2 streaks on board for St. Edwards. Pretty good lot to get off the back of that play. Fresh does finish his food there versus Hybrid. Ryuga down as well. This is a very easy path to be, and it feels like St. Edwards have flipped the switch in the last couple of rounds, because this is an entirely different St. Edwards to the first two for sure. They are now really starting to dominate, really starting to feel themselves, and that is bearing out in their gameplay. Rutgers, they're looking for some kind of a response to this pushover towards B. It's slow, but it's assured. Chatter, can he do anything from that back alley area? He's going to pick up the first versus Reality, but you're not stopping the capture.
Nope, not going to stop the capture at all. That B zone has been tacked over. 60 seconds added to the board. And Rutgers are still trying to send bodies at this. I mean, Hybrid at least is able to find 2, but that could have became infinitely more expensive than what it was. Eon still looking for more around the exits. Able to find JM. Ryuga goes prone. Is finally able to find that trade, but you still have to worry about Reality, who's on the flank play around the back. Diner control coming through from St. Edwards as their eyes are set towards A.
Yeah, more kills coming through for Rutgers, so they're going to defend here for the moment. And I like this from Rutgers as well. You get those kills and you actually start to aggress at the back of them too. So nicely done here from Rutgers. St. Edwards need to find a way to unearth them from this point. Otherwise they will face a loss here in this control. That would not be good news overall for their chances at a LAN playoffs run. And Thresh starting to get control of Restaurant. I'm going to lose the first initial engagement by Ryuga. That's a big kill for him to make. And now Rutgers again. They're winning all of these crucial engagements. St. Edwards cannot supplant any players through on the flank.
No, they can't. Yeah, this is almost the spell that happened to St. Edwards on their previous offense. You're able to at least get one control zone, but the way that Rutgers are dying so much space and at least keeping their flank as squeaky clean as it is, they've brought themselves back from this life deficit, now trailed by 2. Even Jayham playing his life best way he possibly can here in this top balcony area, finds one seemingly for free. The map space being dictated in the middle area for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Something has to switch right about now for St. Edwards. Yeah, you're 16 versus 16 in terms of lives, but map control has just slipped through your fingers time and time again here in this one. You have nothing to work with whatsoever. Hybrid finally goes down, so at least you're no longer in a theoretical spawn trap. But every single time you sent a player on a flank, it has not worked. 25 seconds to make sure it works this time around. Ryuga's going to take some long-range shots in towards Eons. That's not going to be enough for a kill just yet, and Ryuga's actually going to be stunned up. Eons, he gets his revenge pretty quickly. It's a dish served cold, inside the restaurant. And now St. Edwards looking to move forward here for the final 12 seconds, but they have to get somebody on the point right about now. Hybrid, first 2 shots going through here. Player inside the corner to deal with. Eon's going to look good on the crossfire to provide the coverage for his teammates. Eons is actually going to double up on towards a second as well. So Jayhem, can he save this point is the question. He's only able to get 1. Will find, I believe, the 6 on a row there. But no, not going to hold on to the point just yet.
For segment, it's being contested. Chatter's the next one to step up. He's got 1 player inside, gets the better of Reality, and that should be the final nail in the coffin. I believe a streak was also being at least toyed around to maybe be called in, but Thresh and Eons are still here. 3.3 seconds, 7v9.
And you've seen Jayhem as well. You know where he's located. Jayhem now forced into the gunfight a little bit early because of that nade. It doesn't matter. Now trade's looking good. Second tick going to be through here. Eons and Reality with the coverage. Reality picks up 2. We are not done yet here, St. Ed would say. Despite that streak coming on down, they're going to around 5.
I was about ready to chalk that one. I literally called that it should be the final nail in the coffin, but Thresh just comes flying in. The luchador that he is just finds that kill, has the coverage there from Eons. Is able to walk away with the A controls of the space being provided for Reality to get playing those bins for the head glitches, overwatching the pool for the flank that was inevitably going to be coming through. St. Edwards just refusing to get put down here in the control. Was it enough to sway the round 5 defense? St. Edwards are able to get it. But then again, you always got to ask the question, the way that this map has been played, especially on the day here for CCL, do we even want to be here?
Man, St. Edwards, they have fought so hard to get back into this one. They've clutched up to get back into this one. And they hold on for a defense. These things are tough to do. Eon's on the flank early on, making him feel uncomfortable, and Jayhem hasn't actually responded to this one just yet. They're looking for him. I don't think they're looking in the right places, though. Eon's, that trigger discipline is perfect, not perfect enough, though. Jayhem still wins the initial. Also, our Reality is on 5 in a row. This is good for St. Edward so far.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, actually. They stopped that A zone from being tacked all the way over. You saw one player that's over there, keep in mind you, finally gets dealt with, at least inside of the stage. Eons, he is the A defender, wrong weapon to take that gunfight. Even Reality to the pistol, he knows that he's one shot. Take the chow, the coverage is there. Chatter will at least get the kill. The A control zone was not being looked at, that first segment being depleted, but the majority of the Scarlet Knights are here at B.
Yeah, and for St. Edwards, the question is, how much do you want to put into this, right? Do you want us to kind of prepare yourselves for that inevitable move over towards A? It feels like they're just going to try and defend B straight away, and it was going to be via top glass, but Jayham's like, well, all right, I'll just take those kills in that area. And now for St. Edwards, it would be just wise to leave B well alone. Just make sure no players filter through on the flank. Chatter's going to be the first of the lot from Rutgers to attempt it and will be immediately denied. Eon's ready for the second as well. This is good so far from St. Edwards, but you have to make sure nobody gets through.
That's the biggest question, isn't it? Nobody can get through. That's why you're seeing Thresh play all the way in the back of the map. He's 31-17, by the way. Eon's up to 31-29. That's a lot of engagements between 2 players here for St. Edwards. And seemingly Thresh will go down around the back, but the flank gets re-picked up. You also got to deal with Vanity. He's playing over by the blue tent, just making sure that Rutgers stay trapped inside their spawn. Now has 2 teammates to take over the diner as well.
And Rutgers looking for a way in. Haven't killed Reality just yet. That's such a big mistake. Reality finds 3! That is absolutely monumental. Reality keeping these guys at bay. Ryuga, the last one left up, and it won't be for long. He goes down. Huge from St. Edwards. Chat will respond with 2 of its own. Thresh with an immediate response, and Thresh with the double. That is absolutely huge now. Looking for more. Thresh finds 3 over by the fountain. Why not make it 4? Thresh is piecing from wall to wall at this point in time.
45 seconds remaining. Only 7 lives remain for Rutgers. Got 1 player here for Jayhem. He's all the way around the back. And just off the minimap, I mean, Thresh's spidey senses are definitely tingling. Jayhem's looking for more damage, though. He's able to find one that's all the way inside of top glass. Gets the read on a Reality over by the side door. Are you kidding me? Space might be here. You got 2 players on the A zone.
Yeah, this might be all she wrote, to be honest with you. It's very hard to deal with it, but Reality's going to bring the streak down. The trophy system should be good. Yeah, they are. Splash damage will not be good enough. Now, second progression coming through. Can anybody get there? From St. Edwards is the question. Thresh on the other side. Might well just have to do it with Wendy, and he's going to do it. There's the 2 kills coming through. Players removed from the HUD, or from the control zone. Now an 8 versus 4 scenario here in favor of St. Edwards, and Rutgers did not get it.
You know that Chatter, he's stuck inside the lounge. Eon's gonna call in the next cruise missile as well. You got a player that is at least on the A zone. It's gonna be Ryuga. Eons can't get onto the zone. He can't get the kill. It's 3v6.
The kills are there. They can absolutely just stack it on one point. Jayhem to the double up. No way have they done that.
Wow.
Streaks. We're in. 2 streaks came through. I mean, all right, fine. Trophy systems can prevent those from being effective, but at least sends them inside. Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, that is Rutgers to lose.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they always got reverse swept to the control, Brody. It was absolutely their map to lose, for sure. I mean, Thresh and Eons were putting on as big as an effort as you could ever ask out of those two. Again, those are your usual suspects for St. Edwards that have been popping off for over a year at this point, honestly speaking. But, I mean, even more so than that for Rutgers itself, you know that the streaks are going to come out to play. I don't know how Ryuga didn't get cut down by Eons calling in that cruise missile, whether it was a trophy system or not. It looked like he caught maybe the tiniest bit of fixtures that led inside of that small pool house area, but man, that is one that's going to absolutely sting you if you are St. Edwards. You get blown out of the water in the LSU Search and Destroy. You get to almost bring it to a final few moments there in a round 5 Expo Control. Everything was going your way. You were finding kills. You were shutting down the flank. But it's Control. It's Modern Warfare 2, baby. It always takes just that one good push. J-Hem shows up when it matters most. Finds that 2-piece. Rutgers can get onto the zone. They have a 2-1 lead in the series. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, to answer your question, by the way, about that streak, I actually just got to watch it back on my left monitor on the stream, and it did hit the top of the restaurant. Like, it literally just clipped it, you know, obviously, like, the actual...
such an unfortunate disaster.
Yeah, the thing is with it as well, it's just like, generally speaking with those cruise missiles, the camera doesn't actually show the size of the missile, right? Because obviously it's like it's a cone shape, right, at the top of the missile. I presume this is actual physics of the way the cruise missile would work. So you don't get to see the fact that it would clip the side of the restaurant, and that's really unfortunate there for that play, because it might well have just changed absolutely everything. I got to give St. Edwards their props, because they were 2-0 down. They're absolutely in the hole as we got in towards that control of the first 2 rounds. They clambered their way on out with a really dominant round number 3 and then a clutch round number 4. But man, that was just not enough to stop the heroics of J-Hem.
Oh, it really wasn't. And J-Hem, even when that second segment was being tacked over there in the final few moments, he still was able to find a 2-piece, allowed a few Scarlet Knights to encroach on forward. And then, of course, it ended with another 2-piece push coming through from J-Hem. Just wonderfully done from him, who was always, I mean, he was going pound for pound as far as engagements are concerned. Nobody was touching Thresh. I mean, you even see right here, halfway through round 5, was up to 31 and 17. Almost 60, there it is, 63 engagements for Eons. J-Hem was the only player realistically on the other side that was coming out on top of the majority that he was fighting himself in. And it's this push right here that I was talking about. That 2-piece around the back almost could have spelled disastrous for Rutgers. It called in the first cruise missile, and then J-Hem finds the next 2. That's the streak that we were talking about, where it just barely captures the fixture of the doorway, leading down towards the A control zone, and allows J-Hem and co to get on the A zone, find those 2 kills required. And in what, a 3v7? 3v6 there at the end? Rutgers stay alive and take the swing map mode combo of Expo Control.
Yeah, I think it just says a lot, right, about the way that Control works. You can find yourselves in these massive, or not good situations of like a 3 versus a 4 versus X situation, down by a ton. But if you've got 15 to 20 seconds left, that life differential just doesn't mean anything, because you just need to get on towards the point and get that capture through. And that was the situation that Rutgers found themselves in. You already talked about it a lot. We've already talked about it a lot. J-Hem finishing at 36 and 29 is absolutely everything, with 4.2k damage on the board, 27 NTKs. 21 offensive kills coming through. Man, J-Hem just did so much for his team there. Didn't do everything, we'll say that much, right? I think Hybrid, Chad, and Rigo all had their moments as well. But nonetheless, you've got to give J-Hem his props, man. And as you already said, mate, I don't think either of us expected this, for Rutgers to now be 2-1 up against St. Edwards. And I think we especially didn't expect it when we saw the replay of that map number 1.
I mean, I just simply put that Rutgers' best way that they're going to win this series is to 2-3-5 St. Edwards. Their weakest game modes have been Search and Destroy and then Control. That Hydra will be quite telling. It could be the end-all number 1, so I mean, they won that 250 to 223. I wasn't going to count them out on Embassy, but that is the Saints out of St. Clair College just coming to play. It doesn't matter how long they've been waiting. They had to watch all 5 of those maps versus Newberry. Could have been the download, who honestly knows. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, keep it a $150 with you guys, that St. Clair are clearly the number 1 team as far as Group 4 is concerned.
Yeah, is that deniable? Is that like is there even a conversation?
If anybody wants to try to contest me, then honestly, you were either a student at one of those 2 schools in between CSUN or Newberry, or you're just lying through your teeth at that point.
Yeah, there's actually Twitter outs down below. If you want to go argue with Andy, just do it like directions.
I won't reply.
Directions. There we go. There.
I won't reply.
I'm trying. Yeah, go follow him. Just talk rubbish to him, as I always do. It's fun. It's actually a really fun activity to do when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, regardless, this has been an incredible couple of series so far. Rutgers now 2-1 up. I think that's the headlining thing here, as you said. Like, I don't think we expected this coming into it. St. Edwards have been a force pretty much all season long. Well, you know, I think it was like 8-3 is where they finished within their region, so not that dominant. But nonetheless, I think they still have been a real highlight to watch as a team. To see them now one map away from effectively maybe not being in the LAN qualifiers is seriously something.
It is. St. Edwards, though, gotta have this map here. I mean, if you lose to Rutgers, I think that does say a lot just about these two teams, especially the way that Rutgers lost to SIUE and...
Yeah.
Quite honestly speaking, the way that St. Edwards lost that search and destroy in those opening rounds, those the defensive rounds, excuse me, versus Rutgers in that expert control. Hydro is on the docket here. St. Edwards will still maintain the favorite side of the map, but Rutgers are really scrapping for this time here at P1.
Indeed they are. Rutgers, they're more than happy to take a ton of time away from this hill, because obviously they don't currently have control over P2, so might as well take what you can get where you can get it. That's the plan at the moment for Rutgers. Jayhem and Chad are looking for some transitional gunfights, and this is pretty good so far, but of course you know that St. Edwards are going to get a respawn over by the back of P2, and by the back of P3 as well, it would seem. I think Thresh is about to catch a couple of players off guard as Eons tries to keep these guys at bay, and yeah, there's the first one going Thresh's way, and now I think Reality has to be aware of the situation at hand here. He most certainly was not.
Oh man, a bad situation starts to turn a little bit worse now for the Hilltoppers. They had those spawns on the backside of P2. They could completely run over. They lose them just as soon as they thought that they were going to maintain that positioning for some good time here at P2. Now the only player that was back here at least was Vanity. We'll flip the spawns once again. All hell has broken loose over at P2. We're down to 25 seconds left to fight over, and if you are St. Edwards, yeah, you're finally able to get it, but mid-map is still being maintained by Rutgers. Thresh will spawn in over by the new hill, loses the immediate gunfight back P3 area. St. Edwards not out of this hard place quite yet.
Yeah, not out. It's very early doors here in this one, but that was quite a damaging loss of P2, I think, just generally speaking. You need to make sure if you get control of P2, you actually hold control of P2, just given how much of an important hub point it is here on Hydro. Now things need to go better. Over towards the next one. Jayhem finds himself in the water momentarily. Back up. Do you believe it? 10-2 start for him. Looking to make it 11-2. Not going to make it so far, though, as Vanity picks up a couple of kills. St. Edwards now keeping these guys away. Thresh looking to get control of those back spawns. Will be denied here for the moment. So, St. Edwards, this is not the best of holds so far. They are picking up some kills, though. Finally, Vanity goes down, and there goes Reality as well. Rutgers, they have to fight for it, but they are back at it.
Yeah. Going to be able to utilize those numbers. And again, that is just such an unfortunate spawn in here for the old hill if you are St. Edwards. 20 seconds still looked at. Again, still very early doors, and this is very close given the circumstances that we had going in towards P2, and especially here at P3. But St. Edwards will be able to get the scrap time. Chatter's going to look for a couple exits here. As far as the market is concerned, he's going to get double chowed as well. I mean, that is just wonderfully exited there from top red for St. Edwards, so at least clear the middle of the map. Elsewhere, you have Eons trying to hit a flank. The opportunity to maybe try to break P4 open early.
Kill's starting to come through now from Rutgers on this hold. This is a very hard one, I think, just to break, generally speaking, because those back spawns are anchored down. We always talk about that when it comes down to this P4, and in the context of the game, that's not a good omen for St. Edwards whatsoever. But Ryuga looking to hold this ruined site. A couple of players to contest with, and I thought he really put enough shots in there to finish off against Vanity, but the headshot multiplier will come out on top, and now more kills for St. Edwards. It takes 35 seconds, but they have broken through, and with 20 seconds left now, this is valuable time going the way of St. Edwards. Rutgers will fly towards this hill one last time to take this time away, but if you're Rutgers, just focus on that rotation.
Yeah, I mean, that has been the name of the game, and it's been working out for Rutgers. Just focus on the rotation, get yourself set up for the initial time. If you get broken early, at least try to maintain those close spawns. Jayhem's going to be that person tasked with such an affair in towards the back line here at the Generator Hill. Going to be able to at least find one kill, and there's those spawns. Still very much so in towards the back. Chatter's looking for some players to cut down as they cross back through this open area. And he's going to be able to get some assistance as well. Just wonderfully done there from Rutgers to guarantee the initial 20.
Nicely done on the initial, but St. Edwards, they're going to be spawning relatively close here, so it's going to be a 4 versus 2 here momentarily. Chatter going to back away. Hybrid has already fallen, so Chatter weak from the initial engagement. It's reliant on a little bit of help coming through the backside from Ryuga, and that help arrives very fast. Ryuga have to get one before falling. It's trades galore inside. Eon sat in the corner, will double up. Is that enough to get control? No is the answer as Rutgers continue to send players towards this hill. St. Edwards know they really need this back 15 seconds to keep this game close. They very likely will get it, but as I say, that hybrid going to get that back time, that final kill coming through. No, maybe not actually. Eons is actually going to get that final kill. So St. Edwards will be about 20 points down or so going in towards this next set. Rutgers, they're in control of the right side of the map.
Yeah, they very much so are. Again, that entire first set, it could have been a very different look should St. Edwards been able to hold on and maintain those P2 spawns, but it felt like ever since then they've been playing off the back foot. JHIM is up to 26 engagements, by the way. 16 out of 10. That is just a great stat line to have for yourself. Still, the battle on the backside of P2 is underway, and as much distraction as that may cause for Rutgers, they may hold on to it. St. Edwards are accruing a decent amount of time here at 1.
Yeah, this is dangerous, I think, for St. Edwards, because you can't really afford to give this time away. Also got to focus on the rotation as well. Rutgers know that. They're just trying to put some shots through. JHIM most certainly is elsewhere. Chatter and Ryuga, though, going to combine for 3. JHIM makes that all 4. And now Rutgers, I love the little play there, by the way. Off the back of getting those 4 kills, they're like, guys, go back, go back. We do not want to spoil them towards the back of P2 because that is disastrous. And that is the right call to make now as St. Edwards spawn away.
Yep, that's absolutely right, Brody. Also have one player of Ryuga just soaking up some scrap time, trying to cut down players as they go through the middle of the map. Is already able to find one. St. Edwards are lacking numbers as far as this break is concerned, and it's all really coming through the double archway as well. A couple water routes being hit, but they are knocking, but nobody is answering the door. It is just a barrage of gunfire. Rutgers hold on. Their lead will grow. Oh, Chatter?
Chatter?
Oh.
Hello? Daredevil?
Is he lagging out, or?
Wait, Chatter? Oh no. I think he is.
I think he's gone.
Oh.
My eyes are glued to that player number 4.
He's about to go,
I mean, he's
man.
anchoring the spawns.
He's gone. He's gone.
Look at him go.
He's gone. We'll see you in the next one, bud. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. Good on you.
He's anchoring the spawns, bro. Look at him.
We are really bad for missing. All right, actually, no, I won't bring you into that, bud. I miss those all the time. I wonder what's going on towards the end of half. I was like, oh, it's a player who's lagged out. Chatter is, yeah, he's gone.
We caught that in 4K. That man is gone.
Yeah. You know what? I will give a shout to our observers for catching that, because that's yeah, it's great. I mean, I like that the observer switched, like knowing, hey, this player's gonna get a kill, and they just didn't because Chatter is gone. So again, we don't know what's going on here at this point in time. St. Edwards, they are playing 4 versus 3. I was gonna say they didn't know that. Now they most certainly do, and I presume the play at this point in time is just to continue play on.
Whoa.
I mean, that's what's happening.
Chatter just multiplied himself. Wait, he's still there. No, but I saw 2. I saw 2 of them. Wait, how did he do that? Do that?
I don't know, man.
It's got to be that new field upgrade that came through in the new season for sure, for sure. But yeah, Chatter's gonna lag out again. That's why we have admins. We are just 2 handsome individuals with some beautiful hair. So yeah, we'll let them go to work. But I can only imagine that'll probably be a replay.
Hopefully, that would. What's up, you beautiful people? Yes, even you. It's time for more CCL here between Rutgers and St. Edwards in a situation that we didn't see coming, and you can figure out where in that series, this series, that statement applies to. It's 2-2.
Such an awkward segue. 2v3 here in this round. The bomb is all the way over by the tennis courts, and I mean, you can sit up inside top paper as much as you would like. Reality is going to get the angle into JHIM, and just leads poor Chatter in a 1v3. Good lunch at Fries, brother.
You poor Chatter. I know that Chatter's capable of this. Don't you worry about it, buddy. I got your back. Yeah, no, okay. I knew you were never going to win it.
That's what it means. When Infinity has your back like that, that's what happens all the time. I get that calm all the time in rank play, and I die. I get flanked constantly. I'm sick of it.
Oh, dude. That's unfortunate. I think like, in that situation, in a 1 versus 3, like your best chance is just as full send. Hope that nobody sees you crossing the map. That you can maybe cause some havoc over by the B bomb, but nope, not today. Says St. Edwards. They start this search and destroy very strong.
Like a fast B execute coming through. Trophy system should keep themselves from any nades. Delayed nades at that. A few players have already crossed. That bomb carrier is very close towards that B bomb site, and Eon's creating more space.
It's a bit of a weird position, I think, for Eon's to be in. He's waiting for a first blood before ordering that the bomb does go down, and they will get it, and a second one to boot as well. Chatter, I mean, he's going to peek out of orange, but very quickly go straight back in. This is one of those egregious challenges. It happens inside orange. Eon's, yeah, he goes down. They're very fortunate that the Thresh wasn't the player to fall, and still isn't.
Okay?
Yeah. This is a 2 versus 2 now. It should not be a 2 versus 2 at all.
Nope, it really shouldn't. Recontesting back through the middle of the map, though. Chatter's going to be late to at least see that cross. Reality already go. That bomb's going to get planted. Ryuga, he's just twisted. He's shooting anything. Seeing ghosts.
Annie, in the position, yeah, you know where he's going to be here, right? But I guess time, ironically enough, time isn't on Vanity's side in this situation. When you're kind of up here with the sniper rifle, you're giving a lot of time now for Chatter to check every single corner. There's a lot of different places to check now. Shots going out, and yeah, nice trigger discipline coming through from Vanity. He doesn't just immediately try to snipe Chatter in this situation. Still hunting for him, and yeah, he doesn't know at all. He has no idea. The one place that Chatter didn't check was that back top admin area. There's a lot of directions. I know he actually gets that kill on towards Vanity, which is disgusting, by the way. Lovely shots coming out. Very stable, Fastnef. I'd like to get the class there, mate. As he will take on that final kill, but not getting the round. I'll bring it back to the earlier play. St. Edwards are so lucky they won that round because I would have roasted them.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of red dot chasing that was involved around orange there, but unable to at least walk away with first blood. Still able to clutch up the round, and honestly speaking, yeah, Vanity up in the clutch spot. I mean, he makes the play happen. That play was ripping the magic conch after popping dead silence, and it told him to do nothing. He just lay prone and towards the back, knowing that Chatter had to push him. 2-round lead here for St. Edwards. Oh, my.
All right. You're in a 4v2 at St. Edwards. Here's the play. Don't fly at Rutgers. Just let Rutgers come to you. That's the play. There you go. Chatter's just run straight under the tennis courts. He gets served. And now Jayhem for the 1v.
I mean, there's just no way, right? This guy has been putting up numbers this entire best-of-5 series. I feel like he absolutely has to. Again, this could be the last time that we see Rutgers play the Modern Warfare 2 year. First up, it gets a head glitch on Thresh over by the Xbox. Not going to be able to get it. And again, this is a round that is settled in the very early goings. You even called it there, Brody. Those first 2 kills came through very quickly for St. Edwards. And then they just backed up, just conceded the space, waited for the information to come to them. Reality for the opening shots. Eon chows out from top sign. Forces out the 1v4 from Jayhem, unable to walk away with it. St. Edwards take a 3-0 lead.
This has been a really strong first handful of rounds coming out from St. Edwards here. Rutgers need to get the wheels turning right about now. This is a very different search and destroy from what we saw earlier on. Finally, it stops the bleeding by taking down Eons with the first blood. And that immediately kind of changes the plans here for St. Edwards. I think at the very least here, the positive is that you haven't committed the bomb anywhere just yet.
You've completely opened up this parking lot lane. And Chatter presses up a little bit further over towards this Godhead glitch of the pickup truck. Even mind you, he's a trophy system player, so start sprinting, he's going to start creating a certain amount of noise back here. All of St. Edwards still hunkered up in and around top and bottom admin, expecting for somebody to push all the way through. Chatter's gotten literally no information, but even all of this lack of information is the confirmation that St. Edwards are very much so still partying here top building.
Yeah, St. Edwards, they're just being very cautious. They know that somebody's going from behind, right? They know, like, we were not sitting inside that administration building without somebody moving in on the flank, and Vanity is checking every single corner possible, but the one their Chatter will be okay, and I doubt they're going to check it as well, to be honest. Very specific. They do actually go for it, to be fair. Fair play to Fresh for actually checking the corner, but Chatter wins the 1v1 anyway, and, I mean, that would have been the play, right, to win the 1v1, to try and salvage the round. Vanity's going to try and get this bomb down, and Jayhem has just had the worst nade in the world. No.
All the info on the last. Oh, the stun's gonna keep Hybrid stuck in the mud as well. Oh, I mean, those are some good shots, but Hybrid is one shot. Call up Lemony Snicket. We got ourselves a series of unfortunate events here. First blood. Second gets traded. It's a 2v3. 1 kill, team kill. Hybrid in a 1v2 post plant. What?
We don't have do we have awards here in the CCL? We don't have awards, do we? I don't know. I'll pay for an award for worst nade in CCL this year. I will pay for that. Come out of my pocket.
We've had some pretty bad nades.
That's the one. I just yeah.
Yeah, for context of the match, it's definitely there.
Yeah, for sure. Not great, to be honest, especially considering the context of where Rutgers are at, obviously with their earlier loss. Cannot afford to lose this one, otherwise you're done. Need to get the wheels turning. Finally, again, I say finally, they actually got the first blood in last round. Snipe from Vanity doesn't actually finish off that kill, but Reality will. Very quickly, this all falls into a 2 versus 1 for Jayhem, who does actually have these players split up.
That silence is about to be halfway dissipated. All had to take the early shots. Reality, excuse me, knocked down incredibly low, and the assistance from afar on the truck is going to be good enough. St. Edwards, unstoppable here in the map number 5. A 5-0 lead. Oh, those are some spicy shots. I mean, it only took 1 bullet, but the centering was, chef's kiss coming out from Eons. 5-0 search and destroy. I mean, Rutgers got to start finding something along the way. I mean, Jayhem is a non-benefactor. Again, this guy has been dropping 30-plus bombs in the respawns, even in losses on the Expo control specifically, was a big pillar of life for Rutgers in the map number 2. Get a round on the board.
Yeah, I have a feeling to a certain extent that the round number, or the last map, excuse me, has affected them mentally somewhat. Finally, they've got something. Vanity in a 1 versus 4. This would be a spectacular way to finish off this search and destroy. I don't think he's going to get it done yet. Ryuga just going to finish off things there. I think it was with the tack that he got it done, but regardless, the kill is through. And finally, Rutgers, they're on the board.
1 round at a time. Okay. At this point, if you are Rutgers, if you can take anything away from that round itself, is that you should understand from some good throwables that you can isolate these hilltoppers very, very well, because it's Embassy. You know that they're going to try to watch as many different lanes as possible. There's a very rare occurrence that you ever see these 2 SMGs hitting things together. Mostly Thresh overwatching Eons for these very aggressive pushes that are sometimes backed up by Vanity. So, it's aggressive push over towards Beep. Gonna see a couple players cross. Vanity, some shots already coming through. Jayhem still feeling the challenge. 2 for 1. Oh, no.
Yeah, the best thing that Rutgers have in their hand, I was going to say, the best thing that Rutgers have at this point in time is the fact that they've got the bomb pushed all the way up to site. I don't think that matters anymore. Hybrid needs to go huge, and he needs to get some good timing to boot as well. Those doors being closed, even minute things like that just do not help. Flying out for the final. No, Reality not going to get it just yet. So Hybrid survives on 2 HP. Cannot fly out, and yeah, on the other side, there it is. St. Edwards, they send Rutgers home, metaphorically speaking, of course, as they win the search and destroy 6-1. And not the outcome I think the Rutgers wanted at all, especially because after map number 3, they were absolutely in the driver's seat.
I mean, Rutgers are actually at the facility, so I mean, technically they're going to have to go home eventually. What a weird best-of-5 series. Very strange best-of-5